Now, everybody who's watching, let's get RBT to 500,000 subscribers by Christmas. He's the best Madden scientist there is. I subscribe to him, and if you don't subscribe to, your favorite team is going to lose to the I'm not saying that team.
A 0 overall team. The worst possible team in a Madden game. 0 overall offense, 0 overall defense. And when your best player is literally Jackson Barton, you know things aren't going to go well for you. But in the past, we've really seen how bad a 0 overall team actually is. And in today's edition of some Madden Science, we're going to see how long it would take for a 0 overall team completely on their own to get a win. Would it take a 0 overall team 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to finally go out and rebuild a team from their current state to actually getting simply one win? We're going to follow this 0 overall team, what they do in free agency, how they draft, and see what it takes to start with a 0 overall team where literally every single player is like having a freaking raccoon. It's like having a goddamn actual, probably a disabled raccoon on the field. From that state to actually winning a game with the best across professional football, and see how long it takes for a 0 overall team to actually get themselves a win. So hopefully guys do enjoy today's episode of some Madden Science. And if you do, make sure to smash that like button. Let's see if we can smash, let's once again go for a record, see if we can smash 2,000 likes within the first 15 minutes of this video being uploaded. Make sure to subscribe if you are new and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. It's extremely important, guys, that you do subscribe, because if we do hit 400k by Christmas, our Christmas giveaway is going to be mental. 3 Xbox One X's, 3 PS4 Pros is going to be given away to my subscribers, but that is if and only if we do hit 400k by Christmas. And also, set the notification thing. Extremely important you do have notifications on as well, because as soon as we do hit December 1st, we're going to be doing 25 days of Christmas here on the channel. Where literally every single video that I upload is going to have codes thrown all throughout the videos. Xbox codes, PS4 codes, Amazon codes, all for you guys. And literally all you have to do is have on notifications so you can be one of the first people to watch the video. Hence, you can get the codes for free and win yourself some free money. So guys, hopefully you are excited for today's video. If you have any other ideas for experiments on the channel, any other scientific hypothesis that you do want me to test out, let me know in the comment section below for a chance for your idea to be turned into an actual video. With that said, it is time to see officially how long it would take a 0 overall team to win a game in Madden 20. Now, the thing is, I'm not actually going to control the 0 overall team, because I want everything that they do to be up to them. I mean, like, if it was up to them, I mean, they could literally release every single player if they wanted to in year number 1 and sign available free agents, and maybe even win in year number 1. But it's all up to them. I mean, it really doesn't matter what team I do user. We'll go ahead and just user. We'll go with the Oakland Raiders. Antonio Brown's still on here because this is kind of like an older roster that was made, but all that matters is the 0 overall team. So what we are going to do, in-season player movement is going to be unlimited. The overall cut restrictions, there's going to be no restrictions whatsoever, and everything is going to be put on auto, so the CPU literally does everything, so we can see what it really would take for a 0 overall team to get into a place in their franchise where they can actually compete in an NFL game. Also, we'll put on auto progress players so they have full control as it's time, dudes. Starting point, regular season. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below how long you think it will take for the 0 overall team to win a game. I think maybe by year 3, they should be able to compete. Let me show you guys if we do go into, now keep in mind too, it was a full 0 overall team to start off with, and they might have cut some players and signed some free agents that were available just because the CPU already has had control from preseason week number 1 to the regular season week number 1 at this point. So no, it looks like they have stuck with their full 0 overall team across the board. Every single player, 0 ratings, as okay, they did make a few signings. So they did already do something. So they did sign Dez Bryant out of free agency. Looked like they signed his tight end to an Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Okay, so they're not going to be a full 0 overall team to start off with, but that's the CPU already making moves. With that said, time to simulate into the end of season number 1 and see how the heck a 0 overall team does in Madden 20. The end of season number 1 in the Super Bowl matchup is going to be between Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, Seattle Seahawks, Houston Texans, in Super Bowl 54. But most importantly, how did this 0 overall team do in season number 1? Keep in mind they might have signed some players throughout the season, as best record in the league ends up going to the Bears at 14-2. Bengals in real life, obviously, probably going to go 0-16, but in Madden 20, they think they're going to go 12-4. But most importantly, Miami Dolphins, the 0 overall team, they end off season number 1, which doesn't surprise me, 0-16. Although they did score 144 points, which isn't too bad, and only gave up 634, which, I mean, obviously initially looks awful, but that's not bad for an initial 0 overall team. Now, really quickly, just want to check out some things across the league. MVP goes to Russell Wilson, Todd Gurley in second. Cam Newton somehow ended up on the Bengals, which is crazy, because maybe that's a possibility in real life. Maybe that he got traded. I don't know. That's a little wild, not gonna lie. But let's check out really quick. AFC Rookie of the Year is going to go to Hollywood Brown. On defense goes to Josh Allen. NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Sean Murphy Bunting. And Offensive Rookie of the Year, of course, goes to Mr. Kyler Murray. Now, we do want to check out, most importantly, the stats for season number 1 of the 0 overall team. Now, let's see what free agents they might have signed throughout the season. Brock Osweiler apparently was signed out of free agency. Threw for 2,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, so obviously didn't score too many touchdowns, but obviously he would have done better than this 0 overall Ryan Griffin. I think Brock Osweiler at the beginning of the year was like, what, a 65 overall? So, but obviously better than the 0. Alex Collins apparently signed out of free agency as well. 826 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Jalston Fowler, what a throwback. Even though he was still in the game, 68 yards, was their second leading rusher on the team, which is disgusting. Noah Brown, 765 yards. They even, like I said, signed Dez Bryant, had 681 yards and a touchdown, and Austin Seferian-Jenkins with 2 touchdowns through the air. Now, defensively for them, Manti Te'o, another free agency signing, 129 total tackles, 3 interceptions on the year. And then their second leading tackle was a cornerback, which is never really a good thing. So thus far, I mean, even though they did go 0-16, obviously with them cutting a lot of the 0 overall players by themselves and signing some of the available free agents, they're willing to make some moves. So they might even find a way to squeak out a win in season number 2. It all depends what they do in free agency, because they should have a ton of cap. Like, let's see really quick. If I go and I turn just the trade deadline off so I can see how much cap that they do have available, I'm expecting them to probably have like over 100 mil in available cap room, and especially with the free agents that they signed this year on the team now, they only can sign them to 1-year deals, so that's all going to expire. Now, can anybody tell me why the Bears have 1.14 billion in cap room? Like, what does it even mean? So that's funny. The Bears have 1.14 billion in cap room, so they might be the team to go out and kill the NFL, because they can sign every player possible. So I don't know what that's about. The Bengals have negative cap room, so this game is absolutely insane. Most of these teams have negative cap room except the freaking Bears, over $1 billion. So that's funny. The Dolphins, they have 150 million in cap room. So like I said, dudes, I mean, they really could compete next year with the draft and through free agency with 150 million in available cap room. They could be fine next year. So with that said, let's first of all see who does win Super Bowl 54, and that is going to go to none other than the man, the myth, the legend, I don't know, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, 31-13. And really quick, I know this has nothing to do with the video, but they did add in something finally into franchise mode. Gave you 5th-year options on players. So that's something that we've been wanting for in franchise mode. Finally an update that we do get. So in real life, they have 5th-year options. In a Madden now, they should have 5th-year options. So this is just to show you guys. It should come up as like a scenario at the end of the year. Like here, our GM comes at it and says, hey, I had a question about Garyon Conley. His contract is up next offseason, and we'll think hard about giving him a big contract. My take, keeping this guy is a no-brainer. I think he's a player we should prioritize during next year's re-signing period. Do you agree? I say yes. Absolutely, you definitely want to keep him around. In that case, do you want to go ahead and pick up his 5th-year option? Like, just 2 or 3 days ago, this wasn't a thing in Madden. Now it is. So, I mean, you have to give EA props when they do something good, and finally they're doing something for franchise. And the fact that they're adding things mid-year is a good thing. So we could go ahead, click yes, we could pick up his 5th-year option, and we'll get the paperwork settled. And it says, you picked up Garyon Conley's 5th-year option. This will postpone his contract negotiations for 1 year. So that's actually a really cool thing, and I'm glad they did add that into Madden 20. Now, I do want to go and see what the Dolphins roster does look like after this first offseason, and we still have the draft to go as well. So it looks like they've signed Eric Ebron, they've signed Miles Jack, Austin Seferian-Jenkins still on the team, so I'm guessing they extended his contract. Same thing with Dez Bryant, but they now have Josh Gordon and Dez Bryant, Javon Hargrave, Trey Boston, Aaron Lynch, Jonathan Jones, Josh Doxson, Trent Murphy, Gus Edwards, Clint Boyling, Derek Kindred. They have Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, so they wanted him last year before they got Josh Rosen, and now he's finally a Miami Dolphin. I mean, obviously, when you think about the fact that the team started at a 0 overall, I mean, they still have some 0 overall players on the team, as you see, but for the most part, they've cut a majority of the 0 overall players, and eventually, they're going to have to get rid of all of them if they want to compete. But this team, obviously, is a million times better than what they started with. I mean, they have a 74 overall quarterback when they started with a 0 overall quarterback, so obviously the team has improved vastly. So, I mean, with this roster, I mean, even though their highest overall players are tight end, I think they still have a chance to go ahead and win a game next year. So draft recap, how did the Miami Dolphins do in this NFL draft? Their first pick ends up, I'm expecting maybe a quarterback or a lineman. It was a tight end. The Miami Dolphins, with their first overall selection, took a tight end. No wonder they're in the freaking situation that they're in. Dude, imagine taking a tight end. Not only is it just a tight end, it's a 75 overall tight end, when their best signing in free agency overall-wise was a tight end. So that literally makes no sense at all. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a tight end go number 1, but it's the Dolphins, so, I mean, expect the unexpected when it comes to them. The rest of their draft was absolutely atrocious, although they did pick up a 70 overall fullback in round number 6. So now that I saw that, I am curious to see what the heck could they have gotten in the draft. It actually doesn't look like it was that good of a draft. There was a 72 overall quarterback, Chantrell Caldwell from Oklahoma State. Highest overall player in this draft was a 78. So they had beast left tackles that they could have gone. Like, so many players they could have got better. They're a freaking tight end. Now, going to this grade, I just want to see what their overall is going into season number 2. They started obviously at a 0, and in season number 2 they were 74. So they've obviously improved by 74 overall in just one season. So, I mean, the 74 overall team would not be surprised if they finally won a game in year number 2. But also, at the same time, since this is Madden, wouldn't be surprised if they once again went 0-16. But with that said, let me know your predictions. What do you think they're going to do in this season number 2 with a 74 overall team? And the number 1 overall pick being a freaking tight end. I don't think I'm going to get over that. That's insane. End of year number 2. And let's see if the Dolphins finally grab the dub in this second season. So, best record in the league goes to the Chiefs at 3-13. I think we're just going to sort this way. I'm going to click X. And oh my god, dude, what happened? The Dolphins were... You've got to be kidding me, dude. The CPU can rebuild teams better than me and Bingle. Oh, what a game this is, my dudes. Not only did the Dolphins start at a 0 overall at the beginning of today's video, in season number 2, they made the playoffs. So they go from a 0 overall team to an 8-7-1 team, 0-16 to the playoffs. Absolutely mental. Not in a million years did I actually expect that to happen. Niners and Vikings, 2 extremely good teams in real life, apparently aren't as good as 0 overall teams. But with that, like, what if they actually win the Super Bowl this year? Now, I do want to check out their schedule individually, see who the heck they beat. They lost every game in the preseason. They lost week number 1. They beat the Raiders, which is actually us. We're controlling the Raiders in this video, 35-14. Then they went on a 4-game winning streak, lost 2, tied against the Rams, beat the Niners, Broncos, and Bills, and finished the year on a 2-game losing streak. Like, to answer the question in the title of the video, they went 0-16 in the first season, lost week number 1, but in the, I guess this is the 18th try, they won a game. So how long does it take a 0 overall team to win a game in Madden 20? According to today's video, like 18 weeks. So it's actually insane, dude. I really do hope they win the Super Bowl, because that would just make today's video even crazier. They have anybody come the top 10 in the MVP race. No, wow, what is going on? Mitch Trubisky wins the MVP with the Jets, though. How did he end up on the Jets? In season number 1, Cam Newton was on the Bengals. Now Mitch Trubisky's on the goddamn Jets. So we had Teddy Bridgewater, my man, come in the top 6. 39 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. What a guy. 3,800 yards as well. Running the football, Peyton Barber, who they picked up, at 877 yards, 5 touchdowns. Gus Edwards, 390 yards to 6 touchdowns. Catching the football, Josh Doxson led the team 971 yards. It's actually not a bad wide receiver core. Did the number 1 overall draft pick even play, dude? This guy, the number 1 overall pick in the draft, the tight end, only got 4 catches all year long. Now, Miles Jack was a huge signing. Him and Deion Buchanan, 110, 109 tackles. Led him in sacks. That is Aaron Lynch with 9 on the year. Miles Jack with 5 on the year. Now, actually, did by chance Miles Jack actually win any awards? Defensive Player of the Year by chance? He did. Wow. Now, with that said, time to simulate into the Super Bowl. And is it actually going to be the Miami Dolphins? No! It's the Texans and Cowboys. The Dolphins, oh my god, dude, they actually made it to the AFC Championship game and only lost by 3. The Texans, but what a rebuild the CPU did in today's video. Brought a 0 overall team from 1 year to 1 game from the Super Bowl in the next year. So they actually did a better job than what I would do. As I've mentioned, the conclusion that we can take from today's video, as we do see the winner of Super Bowl 55, why is it doing that? It was the Texans, 34-28. But as mentioned, basically what we've seen in today's video is we've really been able to learn how bad the Dolphins organization actually is in real life, because when EA Sports and Madden is better at your job than you are as a professional coach, you're just not really good at what you do.